Hello, I'm Tom Hollingsworth, and welcome to Networking Field Day. We are here in Palo Alto, California, with our friends from Apstra. We are going to be listening in about their new product and solution, and we have around the table a group of Networking Field Day delegates. They represent the best and brightest podcasters, speakers, writers, and influencers in the community. They are going to be asking questions, making comments, and offering their opinions as part of an invited panel. If you would like to learn more about this event, including how to become one of these delegates or a presenter, please go to our website at techfieldday.com. You can also find more videos like this about a variety of technical subjects at our YouTube channel, which is at youtube.com/techfieldday.
So why Apstra for me? Like, why am I here at Apstra? Well, I learned since Jeremy and I did that puppet project, which was really awesome. That was a fun project to do. You know, I sort of went on my own path, and he went his own path as well. And my path, I kind of learned that networking is a data problem. What we do every single day, whether we're designing a network, whether we're troubleshooting a network, or whatever it is we're doing, we deal with loads and loads of highly interconnected data. And it's very fluid, this data. It's lots and lots of state that's very fluid. Route tables, ARP tables, MAC tables, interface information, stats, status, routing protocol state, LDP information, so on and so on and so on. Distributing that information, right, and getting it into a spot where you can act on it and actually automate the network is really hard to do. It's really hard to do. It's like a comp sci damn near NP hard problem, right, to solve. And we have the glorious benefit here at Apstra, this is one of the reasons why I'm here, of one of our founders actually runs the distributed systems lab at Stanford. That's kind of awesome and very geeky. And he writes code, a lot of code. But that's not really the only problem. And this is really the thing that made me kind of excited about Apstra. And there's another problem which, I'm going to explain through sort of this way. There is a neurological disorder that some people have called face blindness, right? And what this is they can see eyeballs and noses and mouths, but it kind of looks like that to them. It's just a bunch of pieces, and their brain does not put that stuff together so that they see a face. And what it means is that they cannot recognize faces. Like literally cannot recognize a face. And even if their own kids, there's some wonderful blogs by people who have this disorder. They can walk by their kids every single day and not recognize them. They just see eyeballs, that's all, or whatever, right? That's all they see. And that kind of got me wondering, like, what is a face then? Like, and what exactly is it? If they can't see it, to me, a face is real. I see all your faces, but if they can't see it, then our face is real. A face is an abstract notion. It's a construct in your mind. And if your mind is unable to compose a face from its pieces, then for you, faces do not exist. So one of the accounts I read on the internet about this, when I was looking this up and figuring out a way to tell this story, I got very excited about, because my number one favorite thing to do at Network Field Day is give people Legos. I found somebody who actually explained their disorder using Legos. And they had a picture of just a pile of Legos. And they said, these Legos, there's instructions somewhere that tell you what these Legos make. But if you don't have those instructions, you just see a pile of bricks. And that's the jar sitting in front of each of you. It's just, just looking at the jar, you probably don't know what that kit makes. That's really the point of the jar, right? So what exactly do those Legos build? Well, we can, if we don't know, because we don't have the instructions, you can sort of call that Lego blindness if you wanted to. And in a similar way, when it comes to automating networks, traditionally companies have network blindness, right? We can automate the data part. We can collect all the data and we can automate little tidbits, but without any context for that information, right? If we don't know, here we sort of drew a magical circle. These are our slides, by the way, these hand drawings. if you're missing this part and you're trying to automate these parts, you have no context for what you're trying to do, right? You can only automate tiny little pieces. So what is the network? What does that mean? If we ask what a face is in abstract, well, when we think about a network, we have devices and cables and interfaces and protocols, configurations and so on, but they're not really the network. The network is really it's an abstract thing, just like a face. And so how do we define that? Well, the network is really kind of an ideal state. You know what you want from the network, right? You know the network you want. And if the network isn't doing the thing you want it to do, that's not the network you want, regardless of the cables and all that other stuff. And if that's true, then the network is really none of those things. The network is an ideal state in your mind. That's what the network is. Well, another way of saying ideal state is expected state, right? You expect the network to be in some state. And where does that expectation come from? What is that expectation based on? Well, as you'll see later, as we're going to go to demo, it's pretty much all demo when I get done ranting here. The Apstra operating system, AOS, it has a very unique way of capturing what you intend your network to do. And based on the information it gathers from you, it sort of builds up this model of what is expected from the network. And this is like a really powerful way of approaching the problem, right? It's kind of like having the instructions to the Legos. If you have the instructions to the Legos, it becomes a lot easier to automate it. So the other thing I'd like to add is that networks are really complicated. And we use the word automate a lot, right? And it's very difficult to automate the network unless you tease it apart into pieces. And as we go through the demo, you'll see how we sort of taken this whole process, right, from design to implementation and operations, and we sort of teased it into different parts in order to automate it. And it becomes a lot easier to do that when you have context for what it is you're trying to do. So we're going to go ahead and start our demo with a network that is already built and under the control of AOS. That's the first part of our demo. And then a little bit later, we're going to start from scratch and build a network from nothing. We're using live gear. It's in a supposedly soundproof rack, and as you can hear, that was a lie. We can baffle it with a pillow, but then the temperature goes to the roof inside the rack. And it is our 1.0 product. We came out of stealth in June, and our 1.0 product came out in July. We already have paying customers, and we're very excited to show this to you because the reactions we get are very positive when we show network engineers. We showed Ethan, and he started weeping with happiness, and I took his face into my chest and I held him.
I nuzzled your beard. It was so wonderful.
Yes. 1.1 is coming out very soon, and when I say very soon, I mean very, very soon. In fact, we have recorded video of some of the cooler things that we're going to show later from 1.1, and that's it. Well, I hope that you understand why I came to Apstra then. So.